Welcome to the Rivera Family Homeschooling Vlog. I'm Nikki.
I'm Manny.
This is Phoenix, our official homeschooler. And this is Falcon, and Griffin is shooting bows and arrows in the background.
Griffin. Come, quick.
Come quick.
Quick.
Say hi. Hi.
And there's Griffin. Hi.
So we're gonna talk about how our new curriculum is going. Have you guys been liking homeschooling this month? Yeah. Do you like doing the abacus math? Yes. And okay, enough. And Phonics Made Plain? Yeah? You like the cards? Okay, I'm going to show everybody all the stuff we're doing and how we're doing, and you guys go play, okay? Okay. So I'm going to really quick go through how our curriculum's been going. We've been doing it we've done it for 4 solid weeks now. Yay!
Yay for mama.
So we've gotten to troubleshoot and see how it's going, and so usually after a month you're still loving it, you're kind of liking it, not sure, or you completely hate it. Thankfully, our assessment is we love it. Love it. Now, you're going to have to check back with me in January to see if we still love it, but for right now, we love it. So I'm going to go through each item of the Mott Media Curriculum that we're using and a few extra things, because we did have to tweak a few things and show you, give you kind of an update per item of what we're doing now. So the first thing we do is when we sit down for our 3 R's time, which is Ruth Beachick's 3 R's is the basic system we're following for all. She kind of like lays out everything to do with each subject in here, and then she has a guide for Ray's and she has a guide for the McGuffeys, and the McGuffey's guide goes over the Phonics Made Plain stuff as well. So Ray's Arithmetic has been going great. We are on, it's supposed to be 1 lesson a week, and we are on lesson 14. A lot of this was just review for us, but we had been doing the good and the beautiful. I can link the video right here about why we switched, but one of the main reasons we switched, there's other reasons, is that my son wasn't getting mental math. He had to like physically see it, and I wanted him to learn mental math, and Ray's is excellent for that, and it also has, you do games with Ray's, lots and lots of games. So it looks very plain. It looks, like this is going to be so boring. But Ruth Beachick, who writes the guide, has all these game ideas. So we do domino math. We use the abacus, Land of Kakiak. She has a whole guide on how to teach abacus math. So we've been doing a lot of abacus math. And that has really helped my son visualize place values and how to do it. The other day we were in the pool. Our son. And he was pretending to rescue puppies out of the pool, and he was adding them in his head, and he was getting into double digits addition. And we're right now only in adding +4, but he was doing, because of his previous experience with addition, he was able to do the double digit math, and we are only 4 weeks in, so excellent raise arithmetic.
Look, even our 9-month-old is doing the abacus. Look
at that. Look at that.
Falcon.
I will say, our 3-year-old loves abacus math and dominoes too, and he's been doing it and learning how to count to 100.
100!
And we've also been doing Roman numerals because Ruth talks about, this is a mastery program, so it's doing just addition. It includes some money addition, but she says take certain days and do things like time and Roman numerals and add different things in. So we've been really into, my 6-year-old really is enjoying Roman numerals, so I had only been planning to go to Roman numeral number 20, but he's wanting to go all the way to 100, so we're working on those too, along with telling time and money stuff. So that is math. So the archery lessons are now moving to the playroom so that they're not super loud in the background. So in between certain lessons to assist with the telling time and the money, there's this is actually free in the public domain. It's kind of hard to find in print because it's out of print. I think there is you could find book 1 in print, but not book 2. So I just printed it and bound it. And Mom Delights has some videos on how to bind public domain books. So we've just been, I have my little bookmarker here. We've been going through here, and they have this one, How the Clock Helped, and we read a little story, and then they have a place where they tell the different times, and this is only to the hour, and my son already learned how to do that. So we've been working with our actual real clock up there with learning the minutes and telling time to the minutes. So that's another fun thing we add in some days when we don't necessarily do a lesson out of Raise. So math going very well. I was extremely nervous to try this because the first time I did it without Ruth's instructions, and it was horrible. It didn't go well at all. But once I did it the way she says to do it in the 3 R's and in her instruction guide for the Raise Arithmetic, it's gone very well. We look forward to arithmetic every day, and it only takes about 5, not even 10 minutes. And the fruits out of this have been wonderful. So, and very little handwriting. The only handwriting I have, everything is mental math. The only handwriting for math I have him do is his Roman numerals. Or if we're working on a clock, he'll draw a clock. So I didn't even ask him to draw money when we were working on money, but he just did it anyway because he likes to draw. So next we're gonna go to McGuffey's. So we are, even though I've talked about in the other videos, my son is at a very high reading level. So he is 6, but he's at a 3rd grade reading level, but he was not writing on his own, like words. He could write letters and everything like that. And if I told him the word and how to spell it, he could, but he wasn't like writing sentences or anything on his own, or even like a whole word on his own. If he wanted to write a sentence, he would take the first letter of every word in that sentence and he would just write that and tell me what he was writing. So that's what we were getting out of the Good and the Beautiful when we were doing it. And this is the video of why we switched from Good and the Beautiful to McGuffey's. And so what we're using, I was going to use this for reading, and then I switched it up. I read the 3 R's again, and I decided, a friend of mine gave me this. This is the Primary Bible Reader by Becca. And this is the older version. They have like a newer version, but it's the same content, just different cover. Inside, this is all the KJV. The King James Version, when I looked it up online, a lot of places said it was like a 12th grade reading level. Ruth Beechek says it's like a 3rd grade reading level. And he's 3rd grade and he can read the KJV. Yes, there are words that he does not know yet. And so that has been really good. We finally got our Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary, which I will do an entire video on because it's amazing. And there's a lot to talk about with that. But we use this for our reading practice because with the McGuffey's, you're supposed to learn to write along with the reading. And since our levels are very, very different, I'm like, well, I'm just going to go with this. It's a godsend. My friend gave it to me, and it's been amazing. And I wanted to incorporate reading the Bible, so this has been perfect. My son at our church, we use the New King James Version, and he's been very lacking confidence in reading that book, that version of the Bible. So in order to gain the confidence, I feel like this is going to really help him. So far, so good. He really looks forward to this every day. No problem. And it has pictures in it. It's wonderful. And it's only scripture. It's straight from scripture. It's not like a storybook Bible. It is the Bible. Okay. And this dictionary pairs along very well with this as far as vocabulary goes. So for this, what we've been doing, I have him on the primer. They start off with their alphabet, which he already knew. But then we've been working on spelling. And we've been using our Phonics Made Plain cards, which Griffin, our 3-year-old, joins us for every day too, because he just loves it. So we've been going through these in the system that Ruth lays out. And we've also been going through these. We are currently on, where are we at? And then as we go through, we talk about different spelling rules, like the silent E rule for 8. We're currently on this lesson right here. And lesson 6. And what I'm having him do is we are at the point now. So he started off with not being able to write most words on his own other than his name. I can tell him the sentence and he can write it from dictation, not even seeing it. And we are only 4 weeks into this system. So I am very happy with those results. he has not had a problem with this. The other day we had a little problem spelling old, but we talked about it and we respelled it, and we used she talks about the Benjamin Franklin way of learning how to write and how he taught himself to write. And so on Monday, he is going to rewrite the word old, and we'll see if he knows it. And what he does for the Benjamin Franklin, he writes the sentence, and then we compare what his version is to the actual version. And so far, most of his sentences have matched up. But in that case, on Friday, the word old was not spelled correctly. So we will practice that again and see if he can do it. And then once he can, then we're going to move on to this next sentence here. I'm not trying to rush through this book. I really want to build his writing skills. And he has become so confident in his writing that he goes, and I know this is not perfect, but he went and wrote this without my help at all. I know it's not perfect, but he did. And that this also is the fruit of the 3 R's, has copy work from the Bible. And so we've been working on a verse a week until he can copy it completely from memory. And he's learned how to write. Like the first one was love one another. Let me just go to it. The first sentence he learned was, I love the Lord. See here where the easy sentence is. And then he wrote that about 6 days in a row until he had it. And then we moved on to love one another. And now he can write all those words from memory. Those are all words that he knows how to spell. Now we have moved on to, and he did this on his own, including the comma on Friday. Let us love one another, comma, for love is of God. He can spell all those words, and he knows how to put the comma in too on that one, which was a very big surprise to me. I didn't even have to tell him on Friday to put the comma. He just knew that the comma went there. So probably this next week, we're going to be moving on to be kind to one another. And the only new word he's going to be learning how to spell in there is kind. But he's slowly building his confidence and ability to write in sentences. And he's 6. He's in 1st grade. So I'm very pleased with this system and the fruits that have come out of it. And I would say if you're going to do Mott Media Curriculum, this is essential. They have a guide. This is the guide for K through 3. They have also one for 4th through 8th. Okay, so that's the McGuffies that we're doing. We've been working on the Phonics Made Plain. We're making good progress through there. I'm at the point now where I'm only adding 1 new phonogram because he's done all the basics a week, and he's getting very confident in those, and they're helping him with his spelling. Now, how are our feelings towards school? So before, when we were doing the previous curriculum, it was like, oh, we have to do this. Let's sit down. I have to build up my ability and my emotions to sit down and endure what we were going to go through. And this now, it's a part of our routine. Today's Saturday. We woke up and my son's like, for math today, for arithmetic today, this is what I want to do. But I'm like, whoa, it's Saturday. We're not doing it today. And then Friday night, yesterday, I was just like, we ended up doing some outside activities. We came home. We did our 3 hours a little later than usual. I'm like, I won't make him I did a video on our 1 worksheet a day, how we do all these things on 1 page a day. And I'll link it right here. But I wasn't going to make him do the backside, which is where we do a read aloud, and he either draws a map or a picture of the read aloud. And he's like, Mama, you have to read to me, and I have to draw my picture. And I'm like, okay. And he's pulling me along for school. So to me, that means this is working. Hopefully it stays working so that I don't have to find new curriculum next year, because I really don't want to. But I wanted to talk about this. This is our read aloud, Little Pilgrim's Progress. And the fruit coming out of here is amazing, because if you've never read Pilgrim's Progress, you have to read it. It's the most important book in the Bible, for fact. A book ever that every child needs is the Bible, that every person needs is the Bible. If you use no other book for school, use the Bible. If you want to use only the Bible for school, this tells you how to do it. I chose the other resources because I felt like they would help me, help my son be able to better read and enjoy the Bible, and they have. But you could do just the Bible and some math manipulatives and do all this without the rest of the curriculum if you don't want to. This is, in my opinion, the second most important book any person can read. Pilgrim's Progress. Little Pilgrim's Progress is nice because it takes Pilgrim's Progress and it makes it for a child, and a child can see how they too can walk the journey of faith in Christ and face all the obstacles that little Christian faces, and how he faces them, and how he stumbles and falls, but then gets back up and follows that path. And so it opens up a lot of really great conversations biblically with children. And there's rich vocabulary. Yesterday we learned the word vexed and what that means, and it's great vocabulary. It is written for small children, but it is not dumbed down like a lot of the literature today. And it has amazing just artwork all throughout it. Illustrations everywhere that are beautiful. I want to find the one that I really love, which is Christian at the Cross, if I can find it. This is Christian facing self and his battle against self, but all these illustrations are wonderful. You can actually buy the illustrations as wall artwork on Etsy. I was like, if I was having my first baby again and I knew about this, I would just do it. This is how I would decorate. But this is probably my favorite one right here. That's a little Christian, and he's losing his burden at the cross. But this has both the story of Christian and Christiana. In this, that would be the Magna Tower falling. In this version, instead of Christian and Christiana being married like original Pilgrim's Progress, they are both friends, and the children are not their children. They're Christiana's little brothers and sisters. So Christian starts on the journey, and then the second part of the book is Christiana's journey with her little brothers and sisters, which is, let's see, she comes in here toward the end. Oh, there they are, all journeying together with Braveheart in the lead. And even my 3-year-old, he listens in and he loves it. And they watch the movie Pilgrim's Progress and the animated version, and they love it. And this is just, I think in our homeschool, every day we read the Bible, but every year we're gonna read through. Right now, Little Pilgrim, but then eventually the actual Pilgrim's Progress. It's too important of a book not to know backward and forward. We've also been having a cold go through our house. Our last man standing with the cold is the one coughing right now, getting through it. Overall, it's going great. I really have no complaints with Mott Media. I think if you're looking for something like this that is simple, fun, that brings real life into school and just makes you curious and makes the kids curious and want to learn more, and it's not a drag, and you don't have like all this curriculum. Like, I don't have to buy curriculum next year. The only thing I have to buy, well, other than eventually when he levels up for math, I have to get the whole Raise Arithmetic, because I only bought part of it because I was scared that it wasn't going to work. So as long as it's working, I just buy the rest of the curriculum. But everything else is just buying read aloud books. Like right now we're reading aloud through Imagination Station. We went to a curriculum sale. I'm going to do a video on that about all the history stuff I got at that curriculum sale. And just keeping my eyes. Today we went to a thrift store. I didn't find anything, but sometimes I find like really great books at the thrift store. I did find a John MacArthur study Bible, but I already have one for it was at $9.99 and it's regularly like at least $50 more than that. So this is an awesome curriculum. Wait and see how we like it in January before you jump in full. Unless you need a curriculum for this year and you're so done with workbooks and you're so done with having to buy new curriculum every year and research things, and you want to go with a classical Christian curriculum that's time tested. This curriculum's from the early 1800s. then I say go for it. Do make sure you get Ruth's books on how to do it, because that made a huge difference in our homeschool on how we do it. And it's very adaptable to different children's needs. I'm probably not going to follow the same exact path with my 3-year-old using it as I am with my 6-year-old, because they have different gifts and abilities and needs. So we'll see how that kind of pans out. I still plan on using the same curriculum. It just might look a little bit different how we're using it than it is with my 6-year-old. Okay. That's it. If you have any questions, leave your comments below. Like and subscribe to the video, and thank you for watching.